Hi gang! Things are changing. Let's talk about it. Alright, so I'm currently sitting in the truck outside of an AutoZone while I wait for Richard to go inside and get some sort of fix-it endeavor for Christian's car that is being a complete and total nightmare. There it is. I'll show you. It's a beautiful car, but man, being 20 sucks. I feel bad for that kid. It's like every time we turn around, something is breaking on his car. He's the most jaded 20-year-old on planet Earth, I swear. Like, it's just, he's got terrible luck. So anyway, I feel like we need to just touch base and kind of talk about how things are changing up for me. And just see, it's not that I want to see how you guys feel about it, because frankly, it kind of doesn't matter how y'all feel about it. It matters how I feel about it. So I guess I'm just informing you to let y'all know, and then you can drop in the comments how you feel about it and whatever your opinions are, and we can go from there. So I have changed overall kind of how I'm ketoing these days. For those of you who are new here, I have been following a ketogenic way of life since July of 2017. I've had ups and downs, but overall I've had a whole lot of wonderful success. I have dropped a total of about 60 pounds. I have put my type 2 diabetes completely in remission. I have resolved issues with gout flares and sleep paralysis and chronic indigestion and heartburn. I have seen tremendous improvements in joint inflammation, lower back pain, joint pain, skin issues, cystic acne, all of the things. I owe all of that to going low carb. That has been huge for me. That said, about a year ago, I kind of stopped seeing results, right? I'm still not quite to my goal. I started out this journey at 219 pounds. I am 5'5.5". I used to be almost 5'7". Don't know what happened. So these days, I'm struggling to get to my goal weight, which is 145 pounds. That puts me kind of smack in the middle of what is considered a healthy weight range for my height. And right now, currently I'm 161, so I'm only 16 pounds away from my goal. And what I have learned over the last maybe 18 months or so of kind of bouncing up and down in the same 5 or 6 pound range is that what I'm doing is not working. I still feel great. I still have awesome blood work. I am doing well. However, I am not losing the body fat that I need to lose to be in a healthy range. I'm pretty confident. I'm comfortable in my body, but I know that it's not as healthy as it could be. That said, I've started really opening my mind to listening to people that are outside of my echo chamber. I have started listening to people who are not in the keto and carnivore space. I have started listening to people who talk about other things like flexible dieting and calorie counting, macro counting, and those types of things in an effort to see if that will work better for me personally. You're going to see Richard.
All right, so this one seems to be better. Hello. That one seems to be better.
That one seems to be better.
It says fuel tanks, plastic tanks, and metal tanks.
We're going to go work in the rain. We're not. He is.
I was about to say, we?
It's not going to be we. I'm going to be doing laundry and cleaning and meal prepping.
Oh, yeah.
Tell everybody hi and bye.
Hi.
And bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, different car, same topic. Now, I have migrated to my own vehicle, and I just pulled up to the grocery store to get some romaine lettuce for some taco salad tonight, and I wanted to complete my video. So here we are. Sorry about the pause and change of scenery, sort of. So basically, here we are. I have started to kind of take consideration, like I mentioned, just listening to people that are outside of the realm where I live, right? I have been following doctors and influencers and nutritionists and things in the ketogenic space for the last several years, some of whom are very, very trusted in this community. And I feel like I've benefited from that, tremendously. But lately I've started listening to people that follow different ways of life that are not necessarily keto or low carb. Some of those people, I have listened to and watched videos from all kinds of people, like even people that follow ways of eating that I will never ever consider, like plant-based. It's not going to happen. But I want to listen to these other people and what their experiences have been, because ultimately my personal perspective is that I am nutritionally pro-choice. I feel like there are a whole lot of ways to get healthy, and that you need to find the way that works best for you based on your health goals, based on your personal health history and the problems you're trying to combat and improve, and based on what you find you're able to sustain on the regular. Like, what is it that works for you, and that's what you should do. So I've been watching like people that do like Weight Watchers points, people that do plant-based, people that are like bodybuilders. Everything. I've run the gamut as far as listening to other people, and try to kind of pull information and knowledge from everyone, despite whatever their particular choice is for what they do and the way that they eat. And the conclusion that I have come to is that the reason that I haven't been really seeing changes in the last substantial amount of time is because even though I'm eating good foods and I feel good, I have not been in a calorie deficit. And I know that the word calorie is really triggering for people, especially within the keto space, and people talk about how calories don't matter, blah, 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 right? I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I am not any of these things. However, from my personal experience, we're talking anecdotally here, the last week or so, probably like 8 or 9 days, I have been more regimented and been tracking my macros, my calorie intake. And let me tell you, what has happened is monitoring my calorie intake and reducing it a little bit has brought some results. So I am still following a ketogenic way of life. I'm just tracking and I'm weighing things and I'm measuring things and trying to control my intakes. So clearly, it's not all BS, right? Basically what I have done the last several years, I have been kind of eating to satiety, and I've definitely been more meat-based and have included a small amount of like non-starchy vegetables or things here and there, but very sparingly. And it's like, I felt like, okay, going nearly zero carb, going ketovore, going carnivore, like, those did great things for my blood glucose, but it did not do anything as far as reaching my goals. I'm thankful that I did not regain anything, but I just stopped seeing results. And so the time came to have to try and make some changes. I'm still following a ketogenic way of life. I have just sort of started playing with my macros a little bit to sort of try to suit my current situation to get to my goals. Now, what does that mean? I started first by tracking what I was eating on the regular. Typically what we were looking at was a range of calorie intake. Some days would be around like 1,800, other days would be around like 2,200. But within that range, all of my days were kind of falling within 1,800 to 2,200 calories a day. And that seems to be, at least as far as around 165, 166 pounds, that seems to be what my maintenance calories were. So I was very easily maintaining my weight loss to that point on that number of calories a day. And I will say I appreciate that my calorie intake could be that high and still maintain my weight. So I feel like over the course of following a ketogenic diet, I've had the ability to, perhaps even without even realizing it, sort of reverse diet and increase the calorie intake that I'm able to have on a regular basis in order to maintain a weight. But of course, I have a goal. I have a little further that I would like to go with my fat loss. And I also, at the same time, do want to work on preserving any muscle mass that I have. So I'm kind of shifting things a little bit to accommodate my personal needs and my personal goals. So I'm not trying to say that everybody should do this, but I think that it's something that should be considered. If you follow a low carb diet, a keto diet, a carnivore diet, you may hit a point where you're like, I'm not seeing results. This isn't working for me anymore. And it may not necessarily be that the diet itself is not working for you. It might just be that your methodology is not working. I feel fan-frickin-tastic following keto. I don't have the inflammation. My body feels good. I feel a very sustained level of energy. I don't have the brain fog. Like, overall, I feel really, really good. So I don't have any intentions of quitting following a ketogenic diet, but I have to do what is going to suit me and my needs and my goals for right now. So basically what I've done is sort of shifted around my macros to accommodate a higher protein intake for satiety. I've also gone back to a higher intake of carbohydrates as far as non-starchy veggies. I'm not going crazy. I'm not like adding sweet potatoes or black beans or anything like that. No, I'm just not scared of broccoli and not scared of salads, right? I did carnivore for 7 months. I know exactly what vegetables make my body feel sucky, and I know which ones make me feel totally fine. And so I'm starting to include those things again. I'm starting to not be scared of having a big crunchy romaine salad or having a bunch of sliced cucumbers and tomatoes on the side of a plate. I'm just not scared of those things anymore. And additionally, I'm not only eating beef. I'm adding things like chicken breast and chicken sausages and low-fat Greek yogurt, like the Fage yogurt, and these things that are a little lower calorie but still higher proteins. So where previously I was doing more high-fat keto, moderate protein, like kind of what the original macros for keto are, like the 70, what was it? Before it was like 75% fat, 20% protein, 5% carbs. Now I'm really trying to bump up my protein and lower my fat to make it not a low-fat diet. Let's be very clear, not a low-fat diet, but I'm just not adding the extra. And I'm trying to, sorry, I keep nudging. I'm trying to focus on including more lean protein when I have the chance and not piling on the fat unnecessarily. So I'm monitoring and measuring things like sour cream and cheese and butter. Like, I'm just not using those things as liberally as I was before. So the changes really have been pretty small, but I've seen tremendous change in a very short amount of time, like 4 or 5 pounds over the course of the last couple weeks, just in these minor tweaks. And I feel great still. Nothing has changed by introducing those few extra non-starchy carbs and by introducing some lean protein instead of like the fatty beef and things. And it's really working for me. And I am still following a ketogenic way of life, which I intend to do like indefinitely. I just feel too good not to. But I have just sort of shifted to where I'm okay with having veggies with every meal if I want to, or having some lower fat proteins in my life. And it's something that is working for me. So I am working on, the last few days I've been filming, and I'm going to continue doing so just to show you guys some of the meals that I have been having as far as these like kind of higher protein, more moderate fat meals, but still following a ketogenic way of life. These days I'm trying to stay between 1,600 to 1,800 calories. I'm not doing a huge deficit because I don't want my body to get too used to a lower calorie intake, since I've really done a good job of having a nice high calorie intake on the regular. I have a pretty physical job. I'm on my feet all day. I average between 20 and 25,000 steps a day. And so I don't want to go too low as far as my calorie intake. But from my personal experience, what I'm finding is that calories do seem to matter. And it's okay sometimes to hit a point where you're like, hey, what I'm doing is not working and maybe I need to tweak it. You're not a failure. It also does not mean that keto doesn't work. It's just that the way you're doing it might not be working for you. And it's okay to make the changes and accommodations to reach your own personal goals and to feel your personal best. And that's that, I guess. And, you know, I know that a lot of people see benefits from going carnivore or from going high-fat keto to, you know, to help out as far as your hormones and different things like that. And there is no judgment. I feel like every single one of us, you, me, everybody, you got to find the thing that's going to work best for you. And there is no judgment on which of those things it is. You got to find it. Sometimes it feels like you're like feeling around in the dark and you've got to try a whole bunch of, it's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? You got to try a whole lot of things before you find the one that's just right. And right now I'm feeling like this is the just right for me. So that's where we're at. We're Goldilocks. So, all right. But that's that. I'm going to run inside. It's raining. I've been stalling too because like it's raining and I kind of want to not get soaked. But I've got to go in and get romaine lettuce. So I'll see you guys in a couple of days with some of my different meals and things that I've had along the way with this particular change. And I will see y'all then. All right.